Welcome back, everyone. Tonight I have a review for the very first figure in the brand new Transformers War for Cybertron Siege toy line, and that is the Battlemaster Firedrive. And how I know he's the first one, they're all given this alphanumeric coding. WFC, War for Cybertron, the S is for Siege, and then he's number one. So, kind of following along the lines of a studio series in numbering the individual figures that come out in the toy line. So it definitely helps give this new series a more collector-oriented feel, which is, who it's mainly geared toward. So, we're going to go ahead and crack this guy open, get a good look at him, get some nice shots of him interacting with other Transformers, namely Hot Rod, of course. And then I'll give some thoughts on the toy itself. And here we have Firedrive just standing in his robot mode, along with his two Fire Blast accessories. If you don't recognize the name Firedrive, it's because the character's original name was Firebolt, and he was a Hot Rod's target master back in the day. So, based on design cues, this is clearly supposed to be that same character. Plus, you have the context of Titan's Return, Hot Rod's Titan Master being named Firedrive as well. So, Anywho, so he just has this neat little robot mode. Has a good amount of articulation due to all of his joints being on ball joints here. There's no elbow, knee articulation, no ankle tilt, but you can get some kind of poses out of him. Got a pretty well sculpted little face there. Autobot Tampo on the forehead. You can see on his back he's got these gun barrels attached, and in a move that's very similar to the Prime Masters from previous toy line, this little back weapon can detach and be wielded by Firedrive. Plugs into this little 3mm hole on his arm. It can attach to either arm there. So he can actually wield this as a little weapon, and you can even attach his Fire Blast effects. Give him some really nice firepower for a little guy like himself. Makes him a little heavy on that side, so might have issues posing him. But hey, there he is. So yeah, the guy, he may be little, but he's not helpless. He can use his own parts as a weapon, so that's pretty cool. All right, not a lot left to see for his robot mode. So next thing we're going to do is transform him. He's called a Battle Master in this toy line, which is kind of the new wording that they're using for target masters and their ilk. So just like any good target master, he turns into a gun. So simple transformation, you just flip the gun barrels up. Oops. Kind of bend him at the waist there. Attach his feet together, like so. Plug them into the gun barrels. And then there's little tabs on his wrists that plug in to his hips just to hold him in place, which is a nice touch. They're not just kind of dangling or hanging around. And then, if you so choose, you can attach his Fire Blast effects on there. And there's his little dual-barreled weapon mode with, I don't know if this is supposed to be like little missile launchers on the top or what, but nice detail. Then he's got, a little 5mm handle here. Here he is being wielded by his old buddy Hot Rod. So if you have practically any version of a Hot Rod toy, they have some functionality with this guy, so you can kind of reunite the old Target Master pair. So looks really good. The proportions work pretty well between these two. But, maybe this guy is a little too modern, doesn't really scratch your G1 itch. So you could always pair him up with Power of the Prime's Hot Rod instead, a little more faithful to the original. He looks equally good wielding his old buddy there. But if you're still not satisfied, you could go all the way and just use G1 Hot Rod. Now granted, this is the recent reissue, so he does have the remolded fist to allow grasping a 5mm post like that. But given the fortuitous timing of these both being released roughly at the same time and, sharing shelf space, this could be your chance to have the closest thing to a G1 Target Master hot rod that you can get for a decent price. Firedrive isn't an exact match to the original toy. He does have some aesthetic differences to him, but he is close enough to where, if you just took a glance at him being wielded by Hot Rod, you know exactly who he's supposed to be. So overall, I do like this little guy. I think you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with this new Battle Master class than you were the Prime Masters. They're a bit bigger, they're more posable. They make for much better looking weapons than the Prime Master shells did. Those always just looked really awkward. They were definitely an afterthought. These are starting to finally show up here in North American stores. So far, it's really just at Target, along with the Micromasters. So, keep your eyes peeled. But if you want a toy that is aesthetically pleasing despite its small size, has a lot of good interactivity with the whole fire blast effects, the ability to be wielded as a weapon by almost any Transformers toy that was made in the last 20 years or so, they're totally worth it. And I especially just like the looks of Firedrive here. It's a shame they couldn't keep his original name, but I'm sure Trademark had a hand to play in that. But the great thing about your own headcanon is you can choose to accept or ignore those trademark-friendly names, like I tend to do. But anyway, what do you think of this guy? Are you happy with the way he turned out? Is there something about it that bothers you? Feel free to let me know down below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it or watch one of my discussion videos over Transformers, then I strongly recommend you subscribe to the channel. That way you can see whenever I make something new. And now with all that said, I will see you all next time.